What's up YouTube? Welcome back to today's video. First off, hope you're all having a great day today. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some very exciting footage that I captured in the hot pits during the 250A main this past Saturday at the Red Bluff Outlaws. Now, if you were to go around and do a survey at the Red Bluff Outlaws and ask people, what is the most exciting thing that happens at Red Bluff besides the racing on the track? You'd probably get two answers. One would be what happens in the pits if maybe things get a little bit heated, which especially this season, we haven't really seen that happen too much. I mean, maybe a few arguments here and there, but nothing too big. And then the other thing that people would say is the hot pits. If there's something you really want to watch throughout the night, it is the hot pits. So many exciting things happen there where people are coming in, trying to fix their cars in the short amount of time they have and get them back out on the racetrack. If you are not familiar with what the hot pit is, the hot pit, also known as the work area, is a place where you can take your car and fix it if it's damaged, or sometimes occasionally we'll even see people come in there if maybe they're running in the back, and they'll make adjustments to make their race car better. So for example, if I'm running in the fourth spot and we're midway through the race and then I realize I have a serious issue with my race car under yellow, I can pull off and go to the hot pit. I will just have to drop to the rear of the field. And then also, if you don't know where the hot pit is at the Red Bluff Outlaws, it's right on the back side of turns 3 and 4 behind the wall. Right where everyone's standing, there's tons of people sitting there, and it's a very convenient spot because if someone comes in, everyone can just jump off the wall, grab the tools they need. Also, they have the QRC trailer there so they can grab the parts and just get it fixed. Now, when you go to the work area, you only have so much time to get your car fixed, and that really just depends on the track rules. So I've been to racetracks before where they give you like 3 minutes, which that is a ton of time in the work area. But for example, Red Bluff, they only give you 1, and that's where I think most tracks are at now, which that's a very fair amount of time. You can get a lot done, and I've seen some pretty unbelievable things happen in 1 minute at the hot pits at the Red Bluff Outlaws. And you only get to use that 1 minute one time per race. So let's say I come into the hot pit, they have to make a bunch of changes on the race car. I use all 60 seconds, but I get back out there. And then the next yellow, I get caught up in a wreck and I have to come back in and get something fixed. I can come in and work on it. They're just not gonna wait for you. So once the lineup's correct, as long as there's no one else in the hot pit, they're gonna go green flag, and if you're not able to get back out there, they're not waiting, they're gonna go green. And like I mentioned, I've seen some pretty insane things happen in the hot pit, but a lot of common things are front end assembly. If people get their spindles all towed out or if they get bent, they can come in and get the spindles fixed. Probably the most common thing is the chain getting knocked off, and then they'll just lift up the car and like 4 or 5 guys will be in there holding it, and a few of them are just trying to get the chain back on. Another thing I've seen in the Red Bluff Outlaw hot pit is when there's a big flip and the wing gets all tore up, they'll bring the car in and they'll either put a brand new wing on, or they'll just get a huge roll of duct tape and just duct tape around to make sure they can just finish the race and get as many points as possible. Something that I've personally had fixed in the hot pit is last year when I was racing in an open B main. I was going and all of a sudden I was like, my steering column doesn't really feel like it's in place. Well, the bolt had fell out of it, and so I was just holding it. I could move it all around. So I went into the hot pit, they quickly fixed it and got me back out there. So that's just another example. Crazy things can be done in 1 minute, but probably the most insane thing that you will see done in the Red Bluff Outlaw hot pit that has only been attempted at a few times because it's not something you see every single day is changing the rear axle of an Outlaw cart. Now this is crazy mainly because you only have 1 minute to do it, but if you get the right guys in there that are really fast at what they do, they have completed this before. Now luck has to be on your side, and as you can see from the title of the video, that's the footage that I caught at the Red Bluff Outlaws this weekend during the 250A main event. A car had hit the wall actually hit it driver's side, so on the left side they kind of backed it in the wall and it just destroyed the axle. Immediately they got in the hot pit and they got to work. They tried to get to work before the lineup was correct so they could get a few extra, maybe a minute extra if the lineup got all messed up, because otherwise you only have that 1 minute to work. So what happens is I'm watching the 250A main event from the wall right off of turns 4, and all of a sudden I see a wreck and I see the 52Y of Dominic Gordon. His axle is destroyed. I'll put a screenshot from Fast Forward Media's stream right here. You can definitely see, and as Chase Rodman says in the commentating, it's like the worst he's ever seen. You do not see a rear axle look like this too much, and he just got into the wall with on the driver's side door as he turned around, and then that just destroyed the axle. So when I saw them pull him off the track and go towards the work area, I knew this was going to be crazy because I've only seen this 1 or 2 times before where they're going to change the axle and try to get him out there before he doesn't lose a lap. So I immediately went, grabbed my camera, and I saw there was Pete Johnston, Tyler Seavey, Tony Souza, RJ LaChance, Ed and Todd Boyd. There's a few others in there going hard at work trying to get this thing fixed, and I wanted to make sure I filmed all of it. I tried to get the best angles that I could. With my wide angle lens, I couldn't zoom in a bunch, but also it was a little dark in there, and there's so many people working hard to get it fixed. It's hard to really get an opening. You know, I was trying to zoom in and out and see if I could just get a little shot of them trying to take the tires off and all that and get the axle in and out of there. But without further ado, here's a sight you do not see every day at the Red Bluff Outlaws. Some guys trying to change the rear axle of an Outlaw cart under yellow and get the driver back out there without losing a lap. Check it out.
Have a whole minute. Someone's coming in.
was some crazy footage of the 52Y of Dominic Gordon. First off, I want to apologize, Dominic. I'm sorry that you had to be the driver that was in the hot pit for me filming this. Dominic's a huge fan of my YouTube channel. I talk to him almost every week, and I see him in the comment section all the time. But anyway, they were hard at work at the 52Y, and you saw about, I would say, a minute and a half through, right as they were kind of running out of that 1 minute in the hot pit, they were struggling to get the axle in. I was surprised at how fast they got it off. They got it off super quick, but right as they got it in, they were struggling. It's like the axle did not line up. They weren't able to line it up because they were just moving really fast and they were trying to get it in the holes. And you will see Pete Johnson, he was trying really, really hard to get the bolt into the frame, but it just wasn't really going. And they tried to use a bar to pry it in and get it straight, and it wasn't happening. It wasn't cooperating with them to get him out there in time. I do believe he only lost like 3, 4, 5 laps. They had a little bit of a green flag run, but they did get the 52Y eventually back out there. When I see things happen like this in the work area at the Red Bluff Outlaws, it makes me think of two things. The first one is, it is so cool to see how a driver will come into the hot pits and so many guys will just pitch in, whether that's their driver or not, whether they're rooting for them or not. Just everyone will hop off the wall and they'll try to pitch in something to help the guy get back out there. And you'll see this a lot, like for example, when the chain gets knocked off. Just a bunch of random drivers, whether they help the guy out or they're rooting for him or they even know much actually about him, whether it's in beginner box, box stock, 250 open, or sportsman, they'll hop off the wall and they'll try to get the guy back out there so he can continue racing. And that is just something so cool to see. It's awesome to see the racing family come together and try to help out a driver whenever they can. And then the second thing that it shows me about the hot pits is how every point matters. Even if you go a few laps down because you have to change an axle, if you can get back out there and get 1, 2, 3 spots just to gain those 3 extra points, it just shows how crucial and how close everything is because every spot matters. So when I saw Dominic Gordon pull into the hot pits, I knew I had to record this and show it to all my viewers on this YouTube channel because such a cool sight to see how fast they work. And these guys are truly so good at what they do because they got that axle right out, and even though they struggled a little bit and they didn't actually succeed in getting back out there without losing a lap, what a sight to see how fast they did it all. Now, one time I actually got in a wreck and they tried to fix my axle. I believe it was actually slower than this. I lost quite a few laps. This was 3 or 4 years ago. So I know it's happened to me. I think it maybe has happened to a few other people. But the one time that I've seen it successfully done was to the 81 factory QRC kart of Kobe Copeland. I'll link the video down below. It's a video on YouTube of it. It was probably the most insane night for hot pit action. There was an engine change with just a matter of few laps lost by Logan Seavey in that same video. But if you click on the link in the description below, you'll see Kobe Copeland pulls in the hot pit, axle is junked, they take out the axle, they put a brand new one in, and they get him back out there without losing a lap. Now, of course, they had some luck on their side. One of the cars that was out there, I think with about 1 to go, stalled, so they got some extra time there, and then also they struggled with the lineup, so they got a little bit more time than 1 minute, but it all happened fairly, and they were just barely able to get Kobe Copeland back out there. So I highly recommend checking out that video. But that is going to end this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Let me know if you guys want me to try to capture more stuff from the hot pits. This was really, really cool. I did my best to try to get some angles, but like not get in the way because those guys are moving so fast. I think one time I was standing kind of behind Tyler Seavey like this, and he backed up and ran away and then ran back. And so I tried to just stay out of the way, but catch as much as I could. But anyway, that's going to end it. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Deuces.